Hey, how you doing, Henry?
Good. Sorry for the delay. We've had a good conversation here. Do you have something prepared or shall I quiz you?
I have a few things prepared. I was going
Okay,
to talk
go for
about
it.
the importance of subject lines and maybe a couple other key metrics. Yeah, let's start off with talking about what makes a email campaign a success. There are two important metrics for this. One is, of course, the open rates. Um, the open rates are one of the best ways to tell whether your email strategy is working. The numbers show what percentage of your audience opens your emails that you send. And if you have a higher open rate, it usually means your subject lines are resonating with your audience. So national average 15 to 21% is considered a success. Our program has averaged around 32% since January. So we're not doing too bad. The other matrix would be the click-through rates. You want people to open your emails, but you also want them to click on the content that you're providing. The click rate is the percentage that tells you how many successfully delivered emails got at least one click. So that number, it shows whether your audience finds the emails you're sending relevant enough to click through, or they just check their email for more. The national average on that is about 2.62%, is a good indicator that you've had a successful one. We've been around 4.4% on average since January. So we're doing pretty well there as well. There's a few things you can do to help improve your open rates and your click-through rates. A low open rate generally indicates that your subject line is not relevant or interesting to your audience. Your audience is composed of a wide variety of subscribers, so maybe you're not focusing on the right subscribers with the content that you're putting out. And then you may be sending out too many emails and campaigns, kind of like what Jared was talking about. We had noticed a dip in our opens and clicks into 2018, beginning in 2019. And we were reviewing how many emails we were actually delivering to our subscribers on any given day. And between national headquarters and emblem and marketing and then the local posts, we were finding that some subscribers were getting 2 to 5 emails a day from us, which is way too many. Begins kind of, it's tedious to start opening those, and you kind of miss out on some good content that way. So we decided to take inventory of what we were sending in media and communications, and we decided to consolidate some of our emails together, and then limit some of our other emails that were monthly. We switched them to monthly opposed to bi-monthly. So that cut our emails down by quite a bit. But we also, while we made our footprint smaller, the emails we were sending were more effective, and they were getting more opens and more clicks. So we were getting more visits to our websites. And that's kind of the key to our email program, is to get our content into our people's hands that aren't going to our website every day. One of the ways to do that, like I said, is having a strong subject line. It's probably the most important thing when sending out an email. Even though we're writing our content and putting everything together, the subject line is often done at the end of our process. And in many ways, it's actually more important than the content or the body of what's going into our emails. Because if they're not getting opened, then what we put inside is not really getting out there. So when you're writing your marketing emails or putting content out, don't leave the subject line to chance. The best subject lines are short, given that most smartphones only display about 5 or 6 words of the subject line, and because more than 41% of today's email campaigns are opened via mobile devices, being short on your subject line is very critical. If they can't get what you're trying to say in 5 to 6 characters, they're probably not going to open your email. And then also another thing is be descriptive in your email. You don't have a lot of, like I said, it's 6 to 8 words is what they can see. You want to be very descriptive in those words so that they know what they're going to be opening. So far this year, we've had we've had some great campaigns. In February, we had one of our online updates. Subject line was "What veterans do you know about VA and vaccines?" which was during February, that was kind of a big topic. And with that, just that subject line, that email had a 23% open rate and a click-through rate of 5.9%, which is about triple of what the average is. That subject line and the content that we had in there also got us 55,970 clicks, which brought that many people to our website that day, which was great. And it got that many, eyes on our content. We had another one, billions of dollars of GI Bill benefits. That was our second highest of the year. That one had a 21% open rate, click-through rate of 3.7, and it brought in 28,000 viewers to our website that day. So both of those were very effective. And the reason I think they were so effective were the subject lines that we used those weeks. Check the time. Another thing is, when you're coming up with, we had our Tango Alpha Lima podcast launch. First aired in April 2020, and it had a successful launch. We saw some numbers dip, and throughout the tier, it was kind of up and down. So we had gotten together and we tried to decide how we could get this podcast in front of as many people on a weekly basis as we could. We decided we were going to try a newsletter, and we did that. And we had not only the new release for each week, it went out on the week the new podcast comes out. It also had previously aired ones. So if we didn't get eyes on a certain podcast, we could always go back and put that in front of our viewers again. And we started that newsletter in April of 2021, and we started with 0 subscribers. Through touts and our other e-newsletters, we were able to build that list organically to about 2,200 a week currently, or 2,200 weekly subscribers. And on average, that number has been going up about 25 subscribers per week. So it's steadily growing. We're getting a great open rate on that at 31%, and the click-through rate on that's 4.4%. So since we took this over, in June of this year, we had our largest downloads for our podcast that we've had so far. And it was 3,840 downloads for June, which was fantastic. It was nearly 40% higher than our previously, I think our second best ever. So the newsletter campaign really helped our podcast kind of take off. We've continued to get, more views, more downloads on that. And it just shows that the newsletter campaigns, if you're putting them together right, they can do wonders for your programs. So that's all I've got, Henry. Is there any questions?
Does anyone have questions? Yes, in the back.
Yeah, the newsletter was just only electronic, right? But you did print it as well.
So the question is, these newsletters that Jason handles, these are all electronic. So we have about 8 that we do from national headquarters.
Yes, currently we have
The American Legion, 8. So the American Legion online update is our biggest, goes out to about 940,000 people every Thursday. And that basically covers all the news, all the stories that we've done in the previous week. The second largest is the Commander's Message e-newsletter. We started that 5 or 6 years ago. And that goes out to about 840,000 subscribers. And that's when there's a message the commander wants to get out that if we got in magazine, it would literally take 2 months to get it in front of people just with the magazine production time. So that's a way we can address something in a much more timely fashion. And the others are niche ones, baseball, the podcast that Jason mentioned, Legion Riders, and there's a couple of others as well too. So you talked about subject lines. How do you balance, and I know it's kind of in our template, but how would you recommend someone who's creating a newsletter balance the words versus the photos in a design format?
Right, in the design format, you honestly, it's actually very good to have photos. I mean, things that are going to catch people's eye. Like 40% of people are reading these on their iPhones now, or their mobile devices, smartphones. And when you're scrolling through, I mean, the pictures are catching your eyes, and those are going to make you, pause and see what that story is. So having good artwork to go with your content is very, very important.
Actually saw a question pop up from Ken on the chat there. I believe he asked about where do the links go? Do they go back to the website?
Yeah, all of our, for media and communication newsletters that go out, all of our read mores, photos, all that go back to URLs that take people back to our website. So that's actually, getting more eyes on our website. And once they're there, they're staying there and maybe looking at other stories. So all of ours send them back to the website.
Yes, sir.
Paper or newsletter that's going out that's different from the American Legion National Newsletter?
Right. So, so our magazine goes out monthly basis, of course. And so we treat the magazine more as a general interest publication where it's, we're kind of in the middle of reformatting it, redesigning it now.
What's the name of your magazine?
The American Legion magazine?
Oh, so it's the actual one I get the mail.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're communicating on about right now, specifically the American Legion magazine that we get in at our house.
So our division handles all the media. We do the magazine, we do the newsletters, we do the website, we do the podcast, we do social media, we do press releases, we do brochures, apps, the whole gamut. So Matt Grills, who was here earlier, handles the magazine. And so so he'll work with freelancers, staff writers, others to write the stories for that. And then we have others who write for the website. So the newsletters we do that Jason's talking about are stories on our website go into these newsletters. So we created the newsletter program so that people don't have to go seek out information on the website. We're sending it to them. Here you go. Here's the best of the stories on the website that you may be interested in.
I'm working on media and communications. I work with media and communications, the my local post. In addition to, as my question now would be like, how would the Department of California reach out to the national magazine and say, here are the programs that we're working on? Because I've talked to like a few different departments, I've heard about some programs that they're working on, but I've never seen it in the magazine. And kind of like as a 38, so what attracts me and other veterans, I say my ages, are the programs. So is there a way in the future, before 21, 22, that we can have some sort of program corner in the magazine where different departments can submit to you all the programs that you're working on?
So that's a great question because we want, we want stories of the great things that posts are doing out there. There's not a lot of news that happens in the second floor of the headquarters building in Indianapolis. And certainly with the lack of travel in the past 18 months, we are relying on people to let us know things that are happening. We search, Google News, we have our Google News searches set up and we find stories, but absolutely, if you have programs, things you want to publish.
Like information.
Right.
Programs that a veteran who's not a Legionnaire can partake in their department, and that could be a new member.
Right. You can certainly reach out to me. You can certainly reach out to Jeff Stouffer, our director, and let us know about those programs. And we'll be happy to take a look at them and see where they fit into our media program. Jason, anything else you would like to mention?
That's all from me.
Okay. Any other questions for Jason? All right. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it.
All right, no problem, Henry. Have a great one.